Lilith, Adam's first wife, the truth behind the legend. Part 1. The Hook and Promise. Beneath the flickering glow of a single candle, where ancient dust motes dance in the hushed air, we embark on a journey into the shadows of forgotten narratives. The sacred texts, often revered for their clarity, sometimes guard secrets whispered only in the margins of history, tales that challenge our understanding of creation itself. Tonight, we dare to ask, could Adam, the first man, have had another wife before Eve? A figure shrouded in mystery, defiance, and a name that still echoes through forgotten lore, Lilith. This is not merely a tale of speculation, but an exploration into the very fabric of myth, theology, and the enduring human quest to understand our origins. Join us as we peel back the layers of tradition, seeking the truth behind the legend of Lilith and what her story, whether historical or metaphorical, reveals about the enduring tension between divine order and primordial rebellion. Part 2. The Journey of Deep Discovery. The historical and cultural crucible, where Lilith takes form. To understand Lilith, we must first step back in time, far beyond the familiar narratives of Genesis, into the fertile crescent of ancient Mesopotamia. It is here, among the Sumerian, Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian cultures, that we find the earliest precursors to the Lilith figure. These ancient civilizations, with their rich pantheons and complex demonologies, conceived of various female nocturnal spirits, often associated with storms, disease, and the seduction of men. Figures like the Lilitu or Ardent Lily were succubus-like demons, harbingers of ill fortune, particularly targeting pregnant women and infants. These entities were not originally connected to Adam or a creation narrative, but their attributes, their nocturnal nature, their association with wildness, and their dangerous allure would later coalesce into the figure we recognize as Lilith. The specific narrative of Lilith as Adam's first wife emerges not from the canonical Hebrew Bible, but from later Jewish mystical and interpretative traditions, primarily within the realm of Midrash and Kabbalah. It is crucial to understand that these traditions often sought to fill perceived gaps in the biblical narrative, to provide answers to lingering questions, or to explore deeper, esoteric meanings. The story of Lilith, therefore, is not a discarded biblical chapter, but a powerful product of imaginative theological reflection and cultural synthesis, taking root in the early medieval period, flourishing in texts like the Alphabet of Ben Sira. This particular text, a satirical medieval Jewish midrash, provides the most comprehensive and influential account of Lilith as Adam's first wife. Why did such a figure emerge with such force in this particular period, and what deeper yearnings did her story seek to address? Decoding the narrative. The tale from the Alphabet of Ben Sira. The canonical Genesis account presents two distinct creation narratives. Genesis 1:27 states, "So God created humankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them." This passage describes a simultaneous creation of male and female. Genesis 2-7 and 2:21, 2:3. However, details Adam's creation from dust, followed by Eve's creation from Adam's rib. It is in the tension between these two accounts that the Lilith legend finds its footing. The Alphabet of Ben Sira explicitly addresses this apparent contradiction. According to this text, after God created Adam, he then created a woman for him from the same dust of the earth, just as he had created Adam. This woman was named Lilith. However, a fundamental disagreement arose between them. Lilith, viewing herself as Adam's equal because they were both created from the same earth, refused to lie beneath him during sexual intercourse. She asserted her autonomy, declaring, "Why should I lie beneath you? I also was made from dust, and therefore I am your equal." When Adam tried to assert his dominance, Lilith, uttering the ineffable name of God, flew away from him and fled to the Red Sea, a place traditionally associated with demons and unclean spirits. Adam, distressed by her departure, appealed to God. God then sent three angels, Sinoi, Sansonoi, and Samanjalef, to retrieve her. They found Lilith at the Red Sea, where she had already begun to procreate with demons, giving birth to thousands of demonic offspring each day. The angels pleaded with her to return, threatening that if she did not, 100 of her children would die every day. Lilith refused, proclaiming her new role as a tormentor of human infants, particularly newborn boys, until they were 8 days old, the time of their circumcision, and newborn girls until they were 20 days old. However, she made a pact. If she saw the names or images of the three angels on an amulet, she would spare the child. This is the origin of the Jewish custom of using amulets with these angels' names to protect infants from Lilith. Following Lilith's refusal to return, God created Eve from Adam's rib. This time, the narrative implies a hierarchical relationship, with Eve being helpmeet to Adam, signifying a companionship derived from him rather than an independent creation. The Lilith story, therefore, functions as a powerful, albeit non-canonical, explanation for the two creation accounts and for the origin of evil spirits that specifically target the vulnerable. The hidden theological meanings: rebellion, autonomy, and the divine order. The story of Lilith, whether taken literally or allegorically, is rich with profound theological implications. At its heart, it is a narrative about rebellion and autonomy. Lilith represents the primal urge for independence, the refusal to submit to a perceived hierarchy based solely on gender or order of creation. Her demand for equality, "I also was made from dust, and therefore I am your equal," challenges the traditional patriarchal interpretations of Genesis, where the woman is created from the man and for the man. In a sense, Lilith embodies a nascent feminist consciousness, though this interpretation is a modern lens applied to an ancient tale. Her story also speaks to the nature of choice and consequence. Lilith chose freedom over submission, even if that freedom led her to a realm of demons and darkness. Her subsequent transformation into a malevolent spirit, a child killer, reflects the ancient worldview that defiance of divine order, particularly for women, often led to monstrous outcomes. She becomes the antithesis of the submissive, nurturing Eve, embodying the dangerous, untamed feminine. Furthermore, Lilith serves as a complex figure in the broader theological discussion of evil and suffering. If the fall of humanity is attributed to Eve's transgression, Lilith represents an earlier, perhaps more fundamental, source of malevolent influence in the world, predating human sin. She explains the inexplicable: sudden infant death, miscarriages, and the unseen forces that prey on the innocent. Her origins as a creature created by God, yet choosing a path of darkness, raises profound questions about free will and the existence of evil within a divinely ordered universe. Controversies and interpretive labyrinths. The figure of Lilith has been a source of fascination and contention for centuries, crossing religious, cultural, and academic boundaries. Within Jewish tradition, while deeply influential in Kabbalistic and folk traditions, Lilith remains outside the mainstream of Orthodox Judaism. Her story is seen as midrashic, a didactic tale or an allegorical exploration, rather than a factual historical account. However, her persistence in protecting amulets and ritual practices attests to her enduring presence in the popular imagination. Some Kabbalistic texts even elevate Lilith to a powerful, albeit dark, cosmic force, the queen of Sheol, or the destructive feminine aspect of the divine. Feminist interpretations. In modern times, Lilith has been reclaimed as a powerful symbol of female autonomy, defiance, and strength. Feminist theologians and scholars often see her as a figure who refused to be subjugated, who demanded equality, and who bravely chose exile over submission. In this light, her demonization is viewed as a patriarchal attempt to suppress the archetype of the independent woman. She is celebrated as a figure of untamed power, a refusal to conform to prescribed gender roles. This reinterpretation challenges traditional readings of creation and gender roles within Abrahamic religions. Historical versus mythological. The primary controversy, for many, revolves around whether Lilith should be considered a historical figure in the Genesis narrative or a purely mythological construct. From an academic and biblical studies perspective, there is no direct evidence of Lilith in the earliest, canonical Hebrew texts. Her story is a later development, weaving together ancient Mesopotamian demonology with Jewish interpretive creativity. Therefore, for most scholars, Lilith is a powerful myth, a narrative tool rather than a historical person. However, the power of myth often lies not in its historical veracity, but in its ability to articulate profound truths about the human condition, societal anxieties, and theological dilemmas. Conclusion. An enduring echo. We began our journey in the flickering candlelight, questioning the known. The legend of Lilith, Adam's purported first wife, illuminates more than just a forgotten narrative. It shines a light on the human desire to fill the silences in sacred texts, to rationalize the origins of evil, and to grapple with profound questions of gender, autonomy, and divine order. Whether a true historical figure or a powerful mythological construct, Lilith's story compels us to look beyond the surface of familiar tales. She challenges us to consider what narratives might have been omitted, what voices silenced, and what complexities lie beneath the seemingly simple pronouncements of creation. Her defiant cry for equality, echoing through millennia, still resonates today, inviting us to reflect on the nature of rebellion, the price of freedom, and the endless quest for understanding our place within the grand, unfolding story of existence. As the candle burns low, we are left not with simple answers, but with the profound realization that even in the shadows of ancient legends, there are truths waiting to be discovered, truths that forever shape our perception of creation and of ourselves.